We were raised to be seen and not heard, and we were raised to not see our own value.
Hey friends, Laurie Michelle here with Choosing to Shine Reflections. Today's game player and guest is Krissi. Welcome, Krissi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Krissi and I have not texted. We have not had any conversation, so this is a totally blind interview. And also, she just informed me that she has not watched the podcast either. So that's really fun. I mean, you must really trust your friend Gail because just to come on and be live and wild.
Yeah, I'm an Aries, so I'm good at live and wild.
Oh, good. All right. So let me pull up my other camera here, and we like to start off using our deep reflection questions, and I'll just give them a shuffle. There's 2 questions on every card, so you can choose which one you want to answer. I'll read them both, and you should be able to see it on the screen as well. What's a part of yourself you've spent years trying to understand? Or what's a part of yourself that you've spent years trying to change?
Okay, so I'll answer the first one.
Okay.
So I love that this is the question because I am a health coach who runs health coaching programs for people to learn about themselves and why they are the way that they are.
Love that.
So the part of myself that I have been working on to understand is who I am without the labels. I was given a lot of labels in my lifetime. We all are, right? We all acquire labels from people and from situations that we've been in. And the part of me that I have tried to understand the most and work on is who I am without those labels. And stripping the labels away has been super important for me over the past several years. My spiritual awakening started probably about 4 years ago. And it was at that point that I thought, no, I just want to get to the center of who I am in my soul and who my soul is yearning to be instead of all of this noise that's been put on me. I'm a young widow. I lost my husband when I was 37 years old. He was 38, so it was 9 years ago. And having that title put on you is damaging, can be damaging. People look at you differently, they treat you differently. Everything in life changes once you get that title added on. So I have been working very hard to strip away as many labels and as many titles as possible to just learn about who I am at the center.
Wow, I love that. I feel like Gail and I had this conversation as well. That about 5 years ago, and I don't know. It does seem to coincide with the C word, right? And I don't know if that's because we all had so much downtime and we could reflect inside. I don't know
Yeah.
what that is, or if the universe had a bigger goal in mind, but I've talked to so many people who that timeline specifically was very important. And you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, I do actually. I believe that there was a collective of us. I call us earth angels. We are here to bring us back to ourselves. That there was a collective of us who chose not to buy into the programming that was happening during that time. And we went inward. And in going inward, we found out none of this stuff that's happening in the world right now makes any sense. So I'm going to continue going inward and journey into myself. And we found truth there. We found something that was real instead of all of this fakeness that was happening around us that we could see through. And I
Yeah.
really believe that God, source, universe, whoever it is that you believe in, did that for a reason to help us to come back to ourselves and then come out of that and be able to help others.
Wow. I got chill bumps. Like that just makes like so much sense. It's like everything that I feel, everything I believe. And yeah, I've just been interviewing, like I said, so many people on the podcast who are you in the Old Souls group? Is that how you know Gail? Oh, you're not. Okay.
No,
I'll talk to you about it afterwards. So
okay.
that's how I've been meeting a lot of people, and it seems like everybody in that group um kind of started awakening at that point, or they were already, but they shifted what they were doing and they're like, I'm just gonna like I gotta go all in. And that's
Yep.
what I feel too. Like I've been working on these cards for years, and it's just something that the podcast was the last thing I wanted to do, but I really felt like source, God, whatever you want to call it, right? That's interchangeable for me. Um, that I really needed to be here to help um, other women find their self awareness and to
Yeah.
be bold and step out of those shadows that we were put in up till that time. And so that's why we're here. So thank you for being here and being bold and coming on a podcast. You had no idea what it was going to be about.
No,
That's
no.
that's brave.
No.
That's
And
very brave. I
thank you for
appreciate you.
following that purpose and providing a platform for people to be here and to share, because it's super important for us to be able to do this.
Yeah, I agree. Chloe just cannot get settled today. What's going on, Chloe? You not comfortable? Is it better? All right, let's see. How has your understanding of self love evolved from when you were younger to now? Or how do you practice self love on a daily basis?
Mm, okay. So the first question, actually, I
Hmm.
might answer both of them because I kind of like
That's
both
fine.
of them.
Yeah. You want me to reread them?
Sure, please.
How has your understanding of self love evolved from when you were younger to now? And then we'll move on to the next one.
So self love has evolved since I was younger, that I am no longer a people pleaser. I used to be, right? Like that had to go. We were raised to be seen and not heard, and we were raised to not see our own value. And I have realized that self love for me means saying no to all of the things that no longer serve me. Because when I say no to that, that's a yes to me.
Yeah.
And saying yes to me and my soul is most important. I coach my clients and I tell all of them, your nervous system is the number one thing that a doctor cannot remove from you, and it's going with you to your grave. And as long as your nervous system is regulated and intact, the rest of your body, your organs, your muscles, your brain, everything is going to work the way that it's supposed to. And dysregulation comes from not loving yourself and staying in environments that make you feel small and keeping people in your life who make you feel horrible about yourself. So I am a generational curse breaker, and I ended up not speaking to my family 3 years ago, my mother specifically, because she made me feel small. And so self love for me is choosing me.
Yeah. I love that. So I have a very similar story, believe it or not, because we're on that same
Yeah.
frequency, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't talk to my mother for I want to say it was 9 to 12 years. I'm not sure the exact time frame, but she said some really awful things to me, and I didn't even know what the term narcissist meant until about that same 4 or 5 years ago time frame.
Yep.
Um, but that all made sense in the end. But I did reach back out to her, and as she was passing from cancer. And I'm glad that we had that time at the end, but I still never saw her in person. I kept her basically at arm's length because I wasn't going to allow her to hurt me
Yeah.
again. And I think she didn't want to see me either. So the whole thing worked out. And being a generational um, curse breaker, I before all that happened, I had went through a series of hypnotherapy to
Mm,
heal those generational, like going back and forgiving my mom, and then going back and forgiving my grandmother for what she did to my mom while she turned out that way, and then going, and I just kept going back, and that was very healing for me. Not that it healed me totally, but it was very, very
sure.
healing. And I think we can do that by ourselves as well, just asking, or in meditation and prayer, asking. The forgiveness is always for yourself and not for the
Yeah,
others, because we can't, for our nervous systems, we can't keep carrying all of that trauma and all that junk. That's
that's
all I'm
right.
gonna, all that junk with us. Like, if we're really gonna be healers on this earth, then we need to be healed ourselves. And I don't want to say that we're fully ever healed. I don't feel like
Nope.
that's the right thing. I think we're always striving to be better, always choosing to shine, right? Making a choice
Absolutely.
every single day of being the best version of yourself you can be.
Yeah,
And sometimes that's minute by minute, and sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes,
absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. It's
So,
all
no,
always changing.
yeah. Well, I love that. Okay, so the other question was, how do you practice self-love on a daily basis?
Um, it's more of the same of just choosing myself. I am a mirror person. I
Mhm.
encourage my clients to, in the beginning of our sessions, so like 3 or 4 sessions in, I will give them a practice of looking in the mirror for 3 minutes. And this was something that I did when I started my healing journey. I never asked my clients to do anything that I haven't done at one point.
Mhm.
So I had set a timer on my phone for 3 minutes to stare at myself in the mirror. And the first time I did this practice, I lasted 30 seconds.
I was
And
gonna say 3 minutes is a long
a
time.
long time, a really long time. I made it 30 seconds and I was in the bathroom throwing up because I was
Mm.
so disgusted with who I had allowed myself to become and how far away from myself I had gotten. And so today I still do that. I look in the mirror regularly, except now I look in the mirror and I'm like, hey, you're
Hey, girl.
amazing and you're beautiful and you're so incredible. So I talk to myself a lot in the mirror. I talk to others very, very kindly because I believe that that comes back to you. That is, so essential to be kind to others because it feels good, because it really, truly, genuinely makes you happy. And that's self love for me is loving on others, loving myself first, pouring into my own cup. Um, I tell my clients that you're a teacup and there's a saucer underneath and you fill that teacup first, and all of the extra that you pour into yourself pours out onto others. And that's where the goodness happens. But you have to fill that cup first.
I love that. All right, let's do one more question, and then we'll get into some more personal stuff.
Sure.
What's a belief that you've never changed your mind about? Or what's a belief that you once held that you found out was wrong or has since changed?
Hmm. Okay. I'll answer the first one.
Okay.
A
Whoops.
belief that I have never, ever, ever changed my mind about. I've always said this And anybody who knows me well will say, no, Krissi has always said that. God always provides. Always. Even in the moments where you think, I have no idea how I'm going to get out of this situation. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I've always had a very, very firm belief that God already knows our story. He wrote the story. He wrote it like a movie. He's the producer, and you're just the actor here to play your part. And he will always provide for you. When you're in a jam, he knows about it, and he knows how you're going to get out of it.
Mm.
I've really truly lived my life in that respect. I was actually, so the opposite, the other question that was on there of what was a belief that you no longer believe in.
Yeah.
I was born and raised Catholic grade school, all of that, right? Wore my uniform, did my time. And that was definitely a belief system that I had to go, nope, absolutely not. No way. That's all got to go. But there was one priest who described life like that when I was probably in fourth grade. And he talked about your life being a movie that God is the producer of. And that has always stuck with me. And it's always given me comfort when I'm in a season of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? Like, I don't even know. I cannot see a solution. He knows.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So that is the game portion of the podcast. So now we get to know you on like your status based questions. So you already answered that you were a widow. Children.
Yep. I have two daughters, Taylor
Mhm.
and Tessa. Taylor
Okay.
is 18 and she's starting college in a week. And
Oh.
Tessa is 15 and she just started her junior year.
Oh wow. I was gonna ask if they were twins since they both had the T names.
No, I was warned about that when I was pregnant with them. Don't give them the same first initial, but I
Yeah.
just kind of loved it.
Yeah. I have twins, so they both have
Okay.
an A name. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are 30 now. So
Awesome.
yeah. And then where do you live?
I live in Plainfield, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And pets?
Pets, yes. I have one dog, Bella. She's a beagle mix,
Mhm.
crazy girl. I have a cat named Sage.
Oh.
She's my buddy. She's my familiar. She goes everywhere with me. And
Mhm.
then I have one grand kitty. My Taylor got a cat last year also. So we have
Aw.
Oliver, and he's a wild man. He's a 2-year-old wild man.
Yeah, I have obviously Chloe and then a cat named Sagwa. Um, I don't know
Mm,
if you're familiar with it was a show my kids used to watch. It was called what was it called? Sagwa the Chinese cat or something like that.
no.
And in Chinese it means big melon head, I think was the translation. And she just had this humongous head when she was little. I was like, "Hey, girls, what was the name of that show you guys used to watch? That cat that had the big giant head?"
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. So does
She,
yours have a big melon head too?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
she did. Yeah, that's why I named her that. Yep.
wow, that's so funny.
All
Love it.
right. So tell us more about your coaching. Like, how'd you get into it? Were you dealing with your own health crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a registered nurse. I worked in the emergency room for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when my husband got sick the first time, we found out that he had sarcoma in his left thigh in 2013. And so I took some time off work to take care of him. I did not allow myself to have any emotions at all whatsoever because he was my patient and that was just what I had to do.
Mm.
And after 8 months of getting him back to good health, my health failed because my nervous system was so dysregulated. and I ended up with 4 autoimmune disorders and addicted to all sorts of medication. And then his cancer came back in 2016. So we once again were battling, and I was dealing with not only the autoimmune disorders, but also addiction to all of these medications. I was on like 12 or 13 different medications, going from one appointment to the next.
Wow.
I finally went to rehab, and I did 10 days inpatient rehab and got myself off of all the medications. And again, God always knows what's coming down the pipeline, because if I had not gotten sober at that time, I would have been a mess 2 months later when he passed.
Mm.
So I was able to deal with things a little bit better because I wasn't addicted to a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But the autoimmune, the pain, the addiction, it all came back after I lost him.
Mm.
And after several years, I was also an alcoholic. And I just, again, I sat in front of that mirror for 3 minutes, made it 30 seconds, and I was so disgusted with myself. And at that point, I said, not only do I need to fix myself for me, I need to fix myself for my daughters, because they deserve to have a real mom.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to help others. It's super important once you've pulled yourself out of that to
Yeah.
turn around, and whoever is still down low, help them up too. And so I started a coaching program where I can model for others who are going through the dysregulated nervous system and autoimmune disorder stuff, what I did for me to help me get out of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of trauma, a lot of loss, a lot of
Yes.
illness.
Yes.
Deep, deep, deep. A lot of stuff there.
But it all brought me back to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I feel that too. It's like about maybe about 10 years ago, I was pretty much bedridden. And
Same.
I thought I had cancer. And I kept going to all these different doctors. I'm like, no, you guys are just missing it. Like, I'm constantly sick. I have no immune system. My whole body hurts. Like,
Yep.
something is not right. And they kept being like, no, you're fine. You're fine. You're doing great for 48. You're not even taking any medicine. And I'm like, but something's wrong with me.
Yep.
I have to know what it is. Like, I can't live like this. And it finally just came down to chronic fatigue and chronic stress. And who knew that stress was such a killer? But
Exactly.
yeah, so I understand about having to heal that nervous system, because no blood test is really going to show you what's going on. And kind of to go back to the beginning of what you said, it's like you're born with it and you're going to die with it. Like, there's no test, there's no doctor that's going to be able to tell you, well, we did your blood work and your nervous system says you're totally stressed out. So you need to here's your prescription. You need to go to the beach, you need to get sunlight, you need to take this vitamin. Like, it's not going to happen.
Nope. No, because that would put them out of business.
Exactly.
That would put them out of business.
Let's talk different levels to our viewers let's talk to the person first who maybe is not aware that their chronic illness or fatigue is attached to their nervous system, like I was 7-8 years ago. Can you give some maybe some ideas of what the symptoms are? I realize they're probably like a lot different too, because everybody's kind of got different biology, right?
Right.
And then just some simple tips.
So I think they're definitely different amongst each person, yet there's a universality that happens, that everybody says the same thing. I feel like I can't catch up. I feel like I'm trying so hard, but I'm constantly exhausted. The brain fog, Everybody experiences brain fog when they're dysregulated. Yes, it's horrible. Like, oh, I had an appointment the other day and I knew about it and I knew about it, but I still forgot about it at the last minute. That's a real thing. That's elevated cortisol, it's dysregulated nervous system. So the first thing that I would tell everybody is there's literally there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay as a human of who you are. The environment that you're in, though, the way that society is run at this super fast pace and keep up with everybody else and, keep up with the 9 to 5 job. Exactly. Cell phones, right? They're brutal. Um, just trying to keep up with the matrix, as I love to refer to it,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to dysregulate your nervous system on purpose. Like, they want that to happen to you. They want you to be dysregulated and unable to make solid choices and good decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, my advice is first of all, get back into yourself, get quiet, turn the phone off, turn the TV off, turn the news off,
Oof, yes.
turn the news off. It's brutal. Get out into nature, put your bare feet in grass and
Yes.
let the earth pull that negativity out of you. Hug a tree. Please go hug a tree. I tell all my clients, I better see a picture of you hugging a tree because that's going to make me so happy. Um, meditate, pray, like get back to you and who you are, and you will find that your nervous system regulates itself quite easily.
Oh, fantastic. So let's move up to the next level of person. So now they know they have a problem with the nervous system and they've been trying all the tips that you just said, and that's not enough. What would you add on top of all those tips?
So I'm a healing touch energy therapist. Healing touch is similar to Reiki, but it's a program that was founded for nurses by a nurse because we recognize that while we're doing medical treatment, that we're actually having an energy exchange with our patients.
Oh.
So I highly recommend finding somebody who can help you to see what you're not seeing, a coach, a therapist, or an energy healer,
Mm-hmm.
because within our body we have fascia, and your fascia is, I compare it to the AI data center because that's on the topic that everybody is talking about right now, are these data centers.
Yeah.
Their purpose is to store information. Your fascia within your body stores information of trauma that you have endured throughout your life, both physical and emotional. And when you carry that around with you and you don't do any work to release it, it's going to affect you. It's going to keep you weighed down and in a lower vibrational state. So it's very important then to find somebody who does some type of energy healing, who does somatic type work, anything that you can do to release those emotions, that trauma from your body and from your energy field.
Yeah, I love that. And I am a Reiki healer, and I like to explain it in a way of a car engine for all
Mm,
your chakras. If one piston is out of sync, then the
yeah.
whole body is not going to operate um, properly because you
Yeah.
need a tune up. Um, I will share a personal story that I had this week. So I work in a call center. I'm in banking fraud, and lady was having issues. She was very young. I think she was like mid 30s, and she said, "I'm so sorry, I can't really answer these questions for you," because I was asking her about logins, did you call in, and things like that, to try to make sure, um, that she didn't have any account takeover. Sagwa just came in the room, my big headed. And she's like, "I'm so sorry, I can't. Like, I'm not. I really am trying to answer these questions. I'm really not a fraudster." Because she was like, "Well, I don't know," and she's like, "I have a brain tumor,"
Mm,
and I said, "I'm so sorry, but I don't think it's a coincidence that you got me out of anybody you could get. And if you're open
Absolutely.
to some Reiki healing, I would be more than happy to do that for you at the end of the
Awesome.
call. So we got through, she did have account takeover. So we got through the whole thing. And then I didn't ask her any other questions. I said, okay, I'm just going to be silent for a couple of minutes. And I'm really, really strong at virtual healing. I don't know, like, I feel like I'm stronger virtually than I am in person. I don't know
Same.
why, or if that's like my gift. I don't know. But so I just like started using my hands to, like, I'm imagining her body. And I was like, it's on your left side, my left side, if I'm looking directly at you. And she's like, yes, it is. And I said, I can feel it. It is quite large. And she said, it is. I'm actually staying in a hotel room because I'm
Mm.
having to stay at this special hospital. And this is like where they're going to be stationed for a while. And then I said, I don't know where you are, because she said she was traveling, right? And I said, but if you're near the ocean, I feel like salt water and water in general is going to be very important to you. And I don't tell everybody that. That's like a standard thing I say. And
Right.
she like screamed across the room. She's like, honey, come here. She's like, I'm on the phone with the bank. And like, she's like, did I not just tell you right before this phone call that we need to go down to the ocean? I feel the ocean calling me.
Mm.
And I was like, chill bumps. Like,
Goosebumps right now, like from head to toe. That's
right?
amazing.
You cannot tell me that any of that was an accident. To
Right.
tell her, spirit telling me to tell her, you girl, you need to get down to the ocean. You need to get grounded and be in that frequency because it's going to be very healing for you while you're going through whatever you're getting ready to go through.
Yes.
And I've
That's
just had
amazing.
so many experiences like that. So yes, I agree with that healing, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that. It was I had to take a break after that. I was like, wow, that was like so
Powerful.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Being an
So,
energy healer is amazing. This is, I was a nurse for 12 years and I saw a lot and we saved a lot of lives. And that's incredible, right? To have somebody's, I have held a human heart in my hand and pumped it back to life. And that's such an incredibly powerful thing to do. But I do remote energy healing now as well. I don't have people in my studio anymore.
mhm,
And I find it to be much, much stronger
yeah,
of work. But to have people call me afterwards and be like, how did you know that? Like, I feel so much better. It's just this work
yeah.
is by far the most amazing and important work I've ever done in my life.
Wow. So explain to me, tell me the type of healing that you do again and how it's different from Reiki. You said it was founded by nurses.
Yes. So
Okay.
Healing Touch is a program that was founded by a nurse named Janet Menken. And it was something that she recognized being in the hospital that she was um, having these energy exchanges with her patients.
Mm-hmm.
And she started talking to some other people about it. And they were like, yeah, that happens to me too. Oh, hey, that happens to me. So even when I started taking the courses, I was thinking back on my time as an ER nurse and I thought, that's why that was happening. Like I would walk out of a room from somebody who had throat pain and now I'd have throat pain. And I'd be like, what, why? What, like, they're not contagious. They had something weird happen type thing. But I feel on my body what other people are feeling on theirs.
Yeah.
And so I recognized that once I started taking the classes, which I hadn't been in the nursing field for like 17 years at that point. But I was able to correlate that I was exchanging energy with patients at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and I utilize it now. So Healing Touch is used in hospitals, um, retirement, well, like nursing home type centers, cancer care utilizes Healing Touch very heavily. And it's all energy healing, right? Whether it's called
Yeah.
Reiki or Healing
Right.
Touch or whatever. we're
Yeah.
all doing God's work.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Jesus used hands-on healing all the time. So,
Yes,
yes,
absolutely.
I agree. So let's talk to the third level of person. So that would kind of be like, I think that would be me. So let's use me as example. So I know all this stuff. I do all of that. I go outside first thing in the morning. I ground myself. I get the sunshine. I'm taking all the vitamins. I'm taking good care of myself, but I just can't get the nervous system to settle on a constant basis. So I see flickers of it here and there. And I'm like, oh, okay, this feels a little normal. And then it's like, something happens and snaps me back in. But I have found that I can snap back out of it a lot quicker, but I'm just not quite there yet. So let's talk to that third level of person.
I would say to that person, give yourself grace, lots and lots of grace. The fact that you're able to recognize when you're in it and you come out of the dysregulation much faster shows that who you are now from who you were 3 years ago, 6 years ago, 20 years ago is growing. And I'd say healing is not linear. There's no straight line to it. You're going to go backwards and up and down and sideways and everything in between.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. Hmm.
so give yourself lots of grace. Continue doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
Remember that for most of our lives, we've been lied to about what health and wellness is. And the amygdala in the back of your brain loves to take you back to the past, loves to go exploring back there where it feels safe because it's all that it knows, right? And then the prefrontal cortex kicks in and says, but let's go exploring in the future and let's go see what else is out there. And they kind of fight with each other a little bit. So your brain is working against you in some ways. Society is working against you. Even when we disconnect from the matrix and from society things, you've been programmed for decades. So it takes time to get rid of all those things. So just keep marching forward because you're making all the right decisions.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Lots
Which
of
is
grace.
Yeah, which is what I'm here to share, right? I'm like, I tell pretty much everything that's going on in my life on this podcast in one way or another. Because one, I feel like to heal it, you have to name it. Um, and if I can help just one person be like, oh, like I'm at stage 3, or I'm at stage Lori 3 years ago, or I'm at stage Lori 7 years ago, still in the bed, sick.
Yeah,
There was so many things that happened in between there that was just me constantly. I gotta find out. Like I can't. Like I'm not even 50 yet back then, right? It was like,
yeah,
what is happening? So it's a long journey, and that's what this channel here is about, supporting women through all the phases of their life and trying to help them find what that boldness means for them. For one person, it could mean getting out of bed and taking a shower today.
that's
That's
right.
being bold if that's not something that you normally do. Being bold can be getting dressed up and going to a restaurant by yourself. There's lots of in betweens, and it's really about self awareness and what stage you're at. And like you said, giving yourself grace to, you're okay. As long as you're still breathing, you're okay. And you
Yeah.
can make just tiny micro changes that could change your whole life.
Absolutely. I say this didn't happen to us overnight. You
Yeah.
didn't become this sick version of yourself overnight. It's from years and years of you abandoning yourself and you believing in something that is a lie. So it's not going to go away overnight, but it's like you said, it's those little tiny choices that you
Yeah.
make every day. I was there also once upon a time where I wouldn't get out of bed for 3 or 4 days, just lay there feeling sorry for myself, staring at TV, usually hopped up on some type of medication or drug. And, little choices every single day. And it's always about choosing yourself.
Yeah. Choosing to shine, right?
That's right. That is right. Choosing to
Well,
shine.
I think that's a really good note to end on. I just want to thank you so much for coming on and not knowing anything about me or the podcast and trusting in Gail, um, and being authentic and sharing that story. Like, a lot of people would be embarrassed, I think, to come on a podcast, especially you're not knowing what to expect and share that deeply. And I so appreciate that. Um, and I can't wait to get to know you now that you've been on the podcast. I can follow
Me
you on
too.
Instagram and do all the things, and we can start chatting. And I think I would love to have you back and do maybe some kind of nervous system regulation series like we're doing with Gail and the money mindset.
Awesome.
Um,
Let's do it. I
yeah,
would love to come back.
yeah, I would love to have you. I think there's so much more to your story, and I just feel a connection here that I think needs to be explored a little more.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right, Chrissy. Well, thank you so much for being here and being so authentic and open and sharing. And as always, to our viewers, love to all.
Thank you so much.
You ready? Oh, you're stirring up little fluffies. You ready? Yeah, I love you.